I'm the first one to do that. I bet you never knew that. Back like a tailbone. Who you got the tail on? If it ain't about me, about O.D, about face. If you ain't on higher, learn it. The soda in the pot and the fire, burn it. This shit is so dope. You might wanna be my guest. This shit is so dope. You might wanna be my.
Oh man, we're talking about Read or Die now. I've been wanting to talk about this anime for a long time. And why I chose to do it now, I have no idea. Everything happens for a reason, I guess. Read or Die is an OVA based on the same name that has been created by Yumiko Readman. It has been published and been produced by Manga Entertainment in the year 2001. Yumiko Readman, known as the Paper, a secret underground operative for the British Library with the power of complete control over paper, including the ability to make it solid as steel. She is called to duty when a book that could spell the end of the world is stolen and she must take it back. Would y'all believe me if I told y'all that this is the very first anime that I bought when I was 11 years old?
No way!
This movie came out in 2011. I was only 11 years old when I came across this, but at the same time I was already introduced to Manga Entertainment's work. I was mind blown of what material they could dish out, but for some reason, Read or Die stood out for me in a way where Manga Entertainment caught me off guard with. Manga Entertainment is known for their old style animes like Fist of the North Star, Neon Genesis, Evangelion, X, the list goes on. I have reviewed so many films that Manga Entertainment has gotten their hands on. Red Hawk, I'm looking at the list right now. Psychic Wars, Perfect Blue, I didn't review that yet, but it's going to get there. Ray Earth, come on. All of them are based on old school genre generation of what gotten people into anime today. So, Read or Die was a modern anime that came out in 2001. And the art material to it, just everything in general it didn't feel like manga. It didn't feel old schoolish. So by them putting their hands on it, I was like, they made this? I'm glad I came across it. And I'm glad I bought it, and I'm glad that it's still in good shape. I was 11 years old, and look at this. Look at that. I was 11 years old, and it's still in good shape. Man, this anime blew me away as a child. And watching it now, I'm still surprised how good this anime looks. This anime is actually ahead of its time, and that's the reason why I love manga so much. And this is, I'm too lazy to take this off, but I got a tattoo of manga. But this is the reason why I never let go of manga's products. The anime picks up pretty quickly, so fast to the point where people can debatably say that it's a flaw when it comes to pacing, but it pays off in later OVA progression as we get to know the characters and just how the whole film plays a part. But I like how the way the anime started. It shows one of the main enemies, known as Ijin, these old gods that was resurrected to try to claim the book, ends up blowing up the White House. The Ijin blows up the White House, tries to look for the book, thinking that it was the library itself. And thank God no one got killed. Thank God no one got killed. There was some injured. There was some people that was injured, of course, but the president didn't get hurt or whatever. But he did piss his pants as the agent was asking him, "Was this the library?" And he said, "No." I would literally piss my pants too after seeing my whole entire White House get electrocuted and just get obliterated. It was crazy. But they wanted to show you that scene just to let you know how powerful, diabolical, deadly, and imposing these enemies are. And I was on board, and it really pulled me in to see what's going to happen in the rest of this anime. As soon as the anime begins to take a little breather from that whole scene, we are introduced to Yumiko Readman, known as the Paper. Her pacing of the pacing of her character was great. She carries the whole anime. I love her character. She is heartwarming, she is charming, she cares about people, and above all, man, just her character herself really glued me into the whole entire OVA. They know how to dish out the whole pacing of these characters to know when they're going to be serious and when they're going to have downtime. And Yumiko Readman carries that with flying colors. They show the beginning of her progression scenes where they show her in the apartment filled with books, filled with so many magazines, filled with so much paper, and we kind of get it. Like, we know that she's into paper and stuff because that's her power. But not only that, but she's a bookworm. She loves to read books. She loves to read about certain history or just things that's going on in today's society. I wouldn't be surprised if she was a conspiracy theorist, but above all, she's a nerd. And my room is a little bit like that. Like, each corner is filled with some shit that I love the most. That's why each time I do reviews, I have to like mix it up and show people, all right, let me show them this, let me show them that. Yumiko Readman, though, is a little bit more in a sloppy side, because as soon as you go in her room, you're gonna have to watch your step because it's filled with so much shit. At least my room isn't like that. But they show you all this stuff that just show you the comedic aspect of a character, how clumsy she is, how much of a klutz she is, how much of a nerd she is. And they even show a scene where she was actually at a bookstore. She just bought a whole shitload of books, and she ends up being like the customer of the month. And I was just literally dying laughing when they showed that picture because she just looked so confused. Like, it was beautiful. It was beautiful to show the part of it. It's to prove to you how good her character development was. Soon as she buys the books that she's looking for, she instantly gets attacked with one of the agents. And this is when we are introduced to her serious side. It was a little mixture with the whole nerdy and want to play innocent. Hey, look, like, let my book go, leave my book alone. I did not read it. And she literally just be serious for a brief moment, but that just shows you how powerful she is. Because by her using the paper, enemies instantly just be in the fall of her mercy, no matter how deadly and how diabolically she is, because she can use paper in her own discretion no matter what she thinks about. She can use it as as a sword. She can use it as a pole. She can use it as a bulletproof vest. No matter what the circumstance is, if she has paper around, she can just touch it, and all of a sudden it will just turn into something deadly that can literally kill you. I think she was the creator of John Wick on that shit. But that just to show you how serious she can be. That just shows you how deadly Yumiko Readman can be. I fell in love with her character, man. I have to say that she is one of the best designing characters I have seen as a child, and that is saying a lot. And don't want to give her full credit, because we're introduced with more characters like Joker. He is the main commander of the British Library. That he's like the Nick Fury in a way. He's like to assemble these people to do these missions, and he just be in the back roads, just literally telling them what to do and how to get there and just how to find the assigned target and just attain the prize. Joker's pacing in his character was fair. I'm not going to say well done, but it was good to the point where I end up knowing him. I end up knowing his personality. I know how he carries himself, and above all, I know how he is under pressure. And there's a lot of times where he is under pressure, especially when the life of others are at stake, the future of humanity is at stake, and above all, where he needs to make sure that each of these people, Yumiko Readman and everybody else, makes it out alive so everybody can be safe. Joker's pacing was good. It was fair, and I had no problem with his pacing of his character at all. And to carry this whole torch for Joker, we're introduced to Wendy. Wendy is Joker's handler. She brings him stuff. She takes care of him if he's literally working too hard, but she's a little off. She's a little clumsy. You're gonna see that a lot on this OVA, but she is so goddamn adorable. When she spills something, when she drops stuff, there's even times where he's just doing research, looking at evidence, when Yumiko and her crew, find some stuff during their mission, and Joker has to literally put things together to make sure nothing fucks up. And when he just goes in there and checks up on him, and guess what? She fucks it up. And you can't get mad at her. It's like, I mean, look at her face. You know what I'm saying? Even Joker tells her, he's like, listen, it's all right. It's all good. She's just like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I would hate Joker if he got mad at her and fired her. It would piss me off. As we get deeper into the anime, as I mentioned, Joker does assemble two characters that will help Yumiko in his journey to obtain her book. And she does need help because these Ijin, even though I did give her credit of her being strong, being able to withstand her own, these Ijin are no joke at all. These thank God that Joker gave her the help that she needed, because we introduced two characters, and that is Drake Anderson and Nancy Makahari, which is called Miss Deep, and their pacing of their characters was very good too. Actually unique in a way, because Miss Deep, which is called, well, her real name is Nancy Makahari, her pacing of her character was mysterious, but that's because she's like one of those agents, and at the same time she likes to be on the sidelines and stuff with her information, and I did not mind it at all. I feel like by a character like that, she has to be this way, because by her being introduced to Yumiko and Drake, she doesn't want to tell too much. I mean, what is the purpose of them being agents if they're going to be really friendly with each other? But we begin to know more about her character as the story goes on, because as the story progresses, when we're introduced to her power, which she can shape shift through walls, she can literally go through solid objects, and that's very helpful because there's a lot of bullet time, there's a lot of enemies doing rapid fire towards everybody else, and Miss Deep, she can take advantage to that shit, and she's also a good specialist to combat with frontal combat maneuvers, and they show that well here with her character. But when they introduce us to downtime in this anime, they begin to show us her little downplay of just how she really feels. She is actually shockingly the love interest in this anime, and to a character that you will not see coming. I was like, holy shit, are you serious? But at the same time, her love is a little tarnished. It's a little bruised up to the point where she literally talks to Yumiko about the book she's reading, especially romance novels, and she asks Yumiko, what do you think is more better? All the romance, fictionalized stuff in a book that you can never mature, that you can never prepare yourself when things get bad, or take a relationship that you have in real time with all its complications? When she asked that question, it pulled me in to know what is she going through? Like, what kind of stuff is she dealing with? And they show that well here on this anime to the point where I really did hope that Nancy can really make it through this. But one thing I did like about her character is that it stands out with her humor, but by her name is Deep. Now, the name even sounds a little weird and a little pause method, and she agrees because she actually comes out and tells Yumiko that I want you to come to my real name. Fuck the code name shit. It sounds like a porn star. And I agree. I was 11 years old, and even I was on her side. Don't ask me how I know about porn at that age. Drake Anderson was done well too, and he is a character that's all about common sense. Now you have Yumiko Readman and you have Miss Deep that do things in a fictionalized gesture because they can do things out of the ordinary. But I like Drake Anderson because he is just a military expert, but he is also the brutes. He can take down enemies with just strength and strength alone, but there are times where he needs to do gunplay, there are times where he needs to do frontal combat, and that's what I like about his character. But what I like most about his character is that he's not on the verge of dying. And the reason why I'm saying that because he has a daughter at home named Maki that he wants to buy her something nice in Hawaii. And it made me realize, I was like, you know what, okay, he has a family. He has a family. So he tries to talk and persuade Joker, listen, this is crazy. Listen, I'm not doing all this shit. And if I'm going to do it, you better give me a fucking raise. And I was like, yeah, I feel you, Drake. Drake was all about common sense. And he literally spoke to fans' minds of just how things were supposed to be in this anime. I like the fiction. I like the whole fantasy shit they show with Yumiko and Nancy, but I was hoping that they would have a character here that was realistic, that didn't have that shit and just saw things on the sidelines, and that's Drake's character, and I thought it was done well. As we get enough information with these characters, now we're introduced to the power of the anime, the action itself, and how these characters are going to team up and take these enemies down. Whew. It's a good thing that they cooperated well because these enemies, again, are no spring chicken. There were times where I did feel for these characters' lives, and there were times where I did feel like the odds was really stacked against them. These enemies, man, they really felt OP, especially when they showed us this guy named Gonzo. Gonzo is, wow, thank you. Gonzo is this character that just uses a pole that was made Goku's. This is Goku's power pole that he's using. And if that's not enough for you guys to check this anime out, I don't know what will. But they even explained this. Joker did some research on it. He was like, that's Goku's staff that he's using. It can extend. It takes, man. And this is the third enemy that they showed. But I was already glued in. Each enemy that they showed, it was more deadly. It was more imposing. It was more eye candy to the screen. And let's just say after Gonzo, shit got even more crazy in the anime. They know how to do the pacing well when it comes to the action. You will not be disappointed. As for the main enemy himself, Ikkyo, he reminded me of Thanos. This anime, I'm getting so much Marvel vibes for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I just got Marvel on my mind. But Ikkyo was a character that just wanted to wipe out the generation by bringing back the old comers, the old legendary people, just so they can restore balance and keep things the way they was when it comes to laws and recognition. I thought his character was well done, well put, especially when they try to explain his story and why he feel this way. And the reason why he felt this way was actually pretty crazy. It's like, damn, like, you went through this? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Does that make it okay for me? No, it does not. But I feel like when they show enemies' backstories, it's mostly kind of like you kind of get pulled in. You be like, damn, like it makes you kind of want to understand. You understand, but you don't want to go bad. That's what I'm essentially saying. Ikkyo's character was an emotional character that was done with perfection. My only regret to him is that I wish that they showed more diabolical scenes to his character, because his performance, the way he was able to use, I'm sorry, it's just I'm just feeling so disappointed just what they gave us to his character. If you look at how they have fleshed out his character to us, every other character, all the other Egen, he went off pretty easily. And I wish they could have made him like more of a character that really wouldn't go down easily, really wouldn't take shit. And then when the odds stacked against him, that's when he really showed his trump card. The anime has a twist. It was a predictable twist though. It was a twist where we kind of saw it a mile away due to the lack of character variation. Not lacking to the point where it was a problem, but lacking to the point where we was like, okay, we know that something's not right with this character. But I think manga knew this, and I think the creator knew this too, so they pulled another twist, and that's when we were shocked. That's when I was shocked, and I was like, oh, okay. I was going to call that twist a flaw, but when they put the other twist in there, I was like, okay, that explains why that character was like this, because this happened. And I'm like, okay, all right. I didn't expect that shit to happen at all. So yeah, those two twists, put a twist on top of a twist, pretty good peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Overall, this anime was a good treat, especially now after me watching it now. I was pulled in from start to finish. I love this anime a lot. And above all, man, if y'all have never heard about Read or Die, which I can understand, not a lot of people are talking about it, even though they have a series, an animated series. I've seen the animated series, but I felt like they should have just left it alone and just kept it towards this. That's just my opinion. They went deeper into the lore of the other characters and they introduced us with new characters. But I feel like Read or Die was something that you have to be very careful with when it comes to a hidden gem like this. So for those who are itching to jump the fence to check this one out, I suggest you guys watch this. You would not be sorry. I'm going to have to give Read or Die a legendary rating, A+. I'm trying to think about the second anime I bought. I think the second anime I bought, see, I was only 11 years old. I think the second anime I bought was Appleseed. The CGI Appleseed, not the one that was made in the 1980s. I think that was the second one I bought. Other than that, that's all I have to say. Other than that, that's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for more upcoming reviews and videos heading your way. I spoke too fast, man. I have to apologize for that. This is your critic teacher, and you guys have a good day.